Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. I'll attempt to give you a quick rundown of what to expect on the show. But just to tell you, there's going to be a lot of basketball. We're going to start the show tonight with basketball. It's a good period for Nigeria. Two teams, the male and female, at the Olympics. I have some guests in the house who will talk to us about basketball, the development of basketball in Nigeria, and of course, chances at the Olympics and what some of them are doing to help grow the game at grassroots level. Also, at some point, we'll be looking at the Euros, we'll look at Copa America, and also talk about the Grand Slam. That's the outlook of the show tonight. I just want to urge you to sit back and relax. There's a lot for you on the show tonight. Thanks for joining us once again with me, Yemi Adebayo. All right, so let me quickly introduce my partners, starting off the show with me, and trust me, there are people you love to listen to on the show. From my far right, probably your left, let me quickly bring in, of course, former D Tigers player Olalekan Ajayi. Greetings to you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks so much. I'm happy for being here. Thanks for having me.
All right, good. And of course, man seated right next to me. If you know Nigerian basketball, at least little or no introduction, Adeka Daudu joins us on the show. Coach, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure being here again.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So let's just start. I don't know if you agree with me. I mean, the best person to answer this question is Coach. For the national teams, it's a good time for Nigeria. But a lot of people feel it's not reflecting on the local game. But of course, you cannot argue that for the national teams, it's a good time for basketball in Nigeria.
It's a good time. I think it's a good time. We have a lot of great players today, and that means it's beginning to show that basketball it's not only upcoming, we are one of the giants in the world. Okay. That's what it's saying to everybody. So I think it's really a blessing, and that those guys are going to represent us in the Olympics. Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic.
I agree with you. But look, I want to come to you. You grew up in an era where football is the king of sport. Yeah. Most people, I don't know if basketball is even number two. Some will argue table tennis and all of that. But you grew up in that era, but you were still able to play for the Tigers, take your trade abroad. So the question is it more difficult then than now to say, I want to play basketball in Nigeria? And it's a lot easier if you're outside of the shores of this country. But here in Nigeria, was it more difficult then to say, I want to be a basketball player?
Well, back then it's not like it's a little bit like the competition is way more high when you talk about the local player, because there's a lot of great players at that time, which there's still now, and there's a lot of leagues, like Premier Leagues, and there's a lot of like junior leagues, Roe Park, and things of that nature. So and it's like sometimes I think at that time if you come and have a junior team, you have to graduate from there to go play in the senior national senior team with the comment. So there's a lot of competition at that time. The league is on. There's a lot of things. So you play in and out, in day and out. So it's more people looking for something to play for than, for the past 2-3 years, there's no league.
Yes.
To me, it's no league. And when you practice, you can practice from now on your own from now to 7 years. If you don't play, if there's no competition in and out, you won't know how good it could be, right? So a lot of players, they're the best in practice, but when the lights on, it's a no-show game. So I played in Angola.
Okay. And
most of my team players in Angola play with the Petro Luanda.
Okay.
And Paulo. Most of them are home-based. When they go to Olympic, all those things like that, you barely see 3 NBA players or 3 foreign players, right? Because the league is very
fully
competitive. When I say competitive, it's very, very. I played in Angola for a season. It's more competitive than European league. I played in Spain. So because it's well more organized. There's money into the league. It was Unitel that sponsored the league. So the players were paid. Like, there's nobody owing nobody. So that's why you see Angola go to Nations Cup every competition. They always tax up because they play every tournament. They play in the league. But we hear there's no league. There's no league. Now, I'll be happy if I could see at least 2, 3 home-based players with the team.
Yeah.
But you can't see. And this is just the facts. This, how you go? Where you picking from? From what league?
I get your point. And Coach will help me out with that. Yeah. For those who, I think it's across board, not just basketball. For those who try to just throw away the ones plying their trade on the domestic scene, and he pointed it out. You can't say someone is good enough. It's not good enough when you don't even get the opportunity to show what he or she is capable of. But from your own perspective, the coaching perspective, looking at talent, is the gulf in class that much between the guys who play on the foreign scene and the guys here? Is that gap really that wide that makes it impossible to have guys play here and make some of the team sometime?
Yes, to an extent, there is a gap. When you look at facilities that are available for players, you will say there is a big gap.
Okay.
And the opportunity for players and coaches to get international training is also huge. There is a big gap. So when you put all those things together, technically you will say we're still light years away.
Okay.
That's the truth. Again, opportunities come because federations are opening up doors for you to have relationships with countries that are very good. Maybe they choose maybe Spain, for instance. I'm just using an example. And there will be like some kind of movements where the people will have some kind of relationships. You go play there, you come back, they come play with you, and you go. Those things will create the gap.
Okay.
So we don't have that. So that's a big problem for now.
All right, let me go to Lekon. I mean, even listening to you, you're passionate about growth of the game on the domestic scene, and you've talked about the problem, and I know you're trying to do something about it, and I'm very happy that you're trying to do something about it. So what are the things you hope that when you start doing, that, you know, the game on the grassroots levels will improve?
Well, I think in life, in everything you do in life, if there's a problem, the first thing is to, first of all, identify the problems before then getting to the solution.
Okay.
If you don't identify the problem, you won't find a solution to a problem. So now, we have to start from the way we used to be, which is, let there be league. When there is league, number one, if there's a league, you're taking some players, some boys off the street.
Yeah.
That's a form of job. They're working, they're playing. When they're playing, they're practicing, it helps the federation to be able to say, you know, how it makes me feel knowing that in the Olympic or All African Games or any competition, we can't even play with the home-based play. We don't have a home-based play.
Yeah, I'm also interested in asking you this. I read somewhere, and I also heard that you're trying to do something like a camp for... What's it all about?
So, well, you know, the way like you said, you know, I used to want to play soccer. I was practicing with Dosu, Joseph, at that time. So, all of a sudden, I'm 4'6", so I grew up, changed to basketball, right? So, the people helped me. Godwin and Winnie Masai, they run a camp, and then I won a scholarship to go play. So, you know, I did not just play basketball. I got my associate, my bachelor's, and my master's. So, I figured, how do I give back to people? You know, and my dad, the fact that I played with the national team, my father also was a retired soldier before he passed. So he fought for this country. So I feel like, you know, I fought for this country by playing for the national team. And so I felt like, how can I help? You know, now I'm going to, you know, scrap out the federation, whatever it is, right?
Whatever the problem is.
The problem is, me as a person, as Olalekan Ajayi, how can I help? So how can I help? I went to school, quality education, when I was in high school. I spoke to my coaches. I'm going home. So I said, well, I got 5 scholarships. I got 5 scholarships for 5 young Nigerians that can play basketball. They don't have to pay for nothing. I'll take care of everything.
You don't have to know nobody.
No, they don't have to know nobody. Some of them came from Abuja. It's a 30-man squad, 30-man camp. Out of the 30, with Coach Odeka and the rest of the some national team coach, with the help of them, we're gonna pick the best 5, and then I'm gonna, with the help of God Almighty, I'm gonna give them 5 scholarships. They're gonna also go to America to go to school, and then they can also help their family. If those
Same
5,
route
the same route I passed through, the same way Godwin and Messiah helped me. So I want to start doing that, and not just do it. Some people do it and quit. Some people do it for monetary benefit. I'm doing it because I love helping people. That's how I was raised. That's how my dad, my mom raised me. So I chose to want to do that.
All right.
So that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Okay, Coach, what's your role in all of this? I know you love the project, and it's an avenue to see young kids get the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm so excited because Olalekan here is a big story to the young ones, and he was once a very young player. I was very fortunate and privileged to have worked with him, and now that he came in to do this, and he gave me the vision some 1.5 years ago. We've been planning for this, and he said, look, Coach, I'm going to do something like this, and I want you to come help me out. So I am coordinating, and also with the help of great coaches like Scott Nagy and Owolo will be in the camp with me. I'll be coordinating the camps. We're just coming to put the boys together and then teach them 1 or 2 things and see them play, and then also use that opportunity that he is given to now make them focus, because everything in life is about focus. Because you need to be focused and you need to know where you are going to. And this is going to give them an opportunity to school, which of course is a right for every child.
Yeah.
Let them take it.
All right. And it sounds to me like even those who don't get the scholarship will still get something.
Oh, yes. That's why we said it's going to be like a little class where we'll teach the kids some rudiments and make them understand that, look, if you don't get it this time, there's another opportunity coming. And for us, we're looking at how our young ones that are at home can be as good as those in the States. Of course, yes, we spoke about facilities. So we're trying to see how they can make, yes, with those little things. And they can be as good as he is saying. And one day, who knows, we'll have 1 or 2 of these players playing for the national team from the home, from our home front.
I know you guys are very busy, but I want to ask Lake on this quickly. You probably walked around, you've been to a lot of places in this country. Now that you're back, I'm refusing to call you a former international because you have not stopped playing. we might call you back. But has the game grown, in your opinion? As the game, you're trying to do this, it's laudable. But when you look around, in your opinion, look at when you were young and now, do you think the game has grown or still trailing football and trailing all of those in terms of popularity?
To be honest with you, I'll say something a little bit. As somebody called my father, his name is Wali Akande. When I want to go to the U.S., right, I got an offer to play in China, right? He told me the importance of school and sports, right? So he told me, if you take this contract, that's a lot of money then to go to China. He told me, if I take this contract and the first day I practice in China, if I break my leg, what am I falling back on? I don't have any degree. So do you want to take this money right now or you want to get a degree? So I got degrees, right? And then I still make a lot of money playing basketball.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, I see a lot of young guys now hungry to want to play, but there's no help. There's no place to play. You can't go to any gym in Lagos State right now where there's light and gym to practice. You tell me one place in Lagos State, in Ibadan, around here that you tell me one place where there's a gym where you can practice anytime.
That's a challenge.
People want to. There's kids that even with their shoes today. Like today, I saw the way players playing with shoes. Like it brought tears to my heart when I see players hungry to want to play, but a lot of people, because of their selfish interests, they just neglected these kids. Like, there's no, every 3 months, there got to be a league. There got to be at least one or two, like,
one or two competitions.
Like, there have to be something they're doing. Like, these kids are hungry to want to play. They're shouting for help, they want to play. It doesn't cost a lot of money to organize a camp for 6 months. Run a camp for 15 to call it under 14 to under 17. It will not cost you $50,000 to run a 6-month camp in this Nigeria. It will not cost you.
To give the guys an opportunity to play the game.
We have a lot of, you don't have to be a sport. We have a lot of musicians. We have a lot of musicians, right? Jay-Z got shares on teams. All these musicians in US, they have shares in teams. They invested in teams.
Yeah.
That's another way. It don't have to be like, it don't have to be NFA, NBBF, NF. It don't have to be those. They're trying their own best. But you can be, you as a citizen can say, okay, well, I want to help.
All right. All right. That's good. Is it open to everybody? That's another, or I mean, you're in the best place to answer that question.
Yes, we made some picks. We made some picks from the north.
Okay.
And then we did some here also. I had some young coaches that have looked at the players all across some of the academies in Lagos, up to Benin. And so we have a 30-man squad. We'll be having 30 kids coming into the camp.
5 of them will be lucky?
5 of them will be lucky.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Guys, before I let you go, I mean, you can't be here without us talking about the Olympics. I know that you guys are very busy. But let me come to Lekon first. I need quick answers because we're going to go on a break shortly. Our male and female teams, how far do you think they can go at the Olympics?
To be honest with you, them girls are bad.
Okay.
You know, they're bad. I'm not going to, I know some of them. They're really, really good. I see them going really, really far. Like, when I mean far, I mean no disrespect to the guys. I'm not knocking them, but I'm just being honest with you. I see them girls going way, way far.
Okay.
But in terms of the guys, we good, we great, but if we can defend the perimeters, we should be fine.
Okay.
And we have great players, you know, like all them guys, they take care of business. But if we can just, you know, defend the perimeters and just rebound the ball, we should be great. We should be in great form.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, your thoughts?
I think I have the same point with him. Our girls are really on fire.
Okay.
And they've been together for a while. The team that the men's team is just in fresh team, new coach, and they're just going into this championship for the very first time, which is the Olympics. They're going to have some challenges because they need to blend. So it's going to take some time. Maybe they'll get to the second round, because I see our group as maybe a group that we can get into the second round. But for the girls, let me just stick my name. For the guys,
okay.
The guys might get to the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, but the girls, I see a quarterfinal this time.
Okay. None of you is thinking of a medal?
For the girls? I mean, you see, the thing, let me say something before we go. In sport, right, it's okay to have confidence, but it's also okay to be realistic with yourself. And now, like I told you, I see them going far, but you have to understand, there's Team USA, you know, there's
Australia,
but I'm not saying anything can happen. I'm not knocking them. But like I said, if anything, I see them going to at least semi-final.
Okay, that's a good place to leave it. It's been fun having you guys in the studio. Unfortunately, you're busy, and we have to let you go. Coach Adika Dado, I want to thank you for your time
very much.
On the show.
Thank you.
Lekon Ajayi, I won't call you former designer, so we might still invite you. Thanks as well for being on the show, and hopefully we'll bring you back to talk some more on all of these issues. All right, so we've been having conversations on basketball. We need to go on a break right about now. After that break, we'll make a switch. Bolu Omoniyi will join me. We'll continue our discussion on the Olympics. We'll do all of that after this break. All right, we've made that switch. Bolu Omoniyi has joined me, and we'll continue with the rest of the show. Bolu, thanks for joining me this lovely Thursday. You listened to the discussion we had. It's only fair for me to allow you pitch in. I mean, they echoed some of the things you've said in times past about us not putting the interests of these players. You know, a lot of people thinking about themselves. But I'm curious to know if you share some of the things they said about our chances at the Olympics with the men. They seem to be more optimistic about the ladies. For the guys, they're a bit cautious.
Well, first Olympic you could see the passion on Olympic because we were talking about that these guys need to play.
Yes.
We've said this thing 1,000 times.
They just need to play.
Get
them on the courts.
You are more likely to be useless without these players. They are the ones who get you there. And if you are not doing your job, you could feel the passion in his eyes, from his voice, his tone. When he's talking off the players, you could hear him confidently. But when he's talking about the guys not being active, you could feel the passion in his voice. It means these guys know what is going on. Everybody knows except those in charge. I hope they get to change and feel for them softly. But from that point on, the athletes, the girls have been on for it. You likely have the girls that even won the first championship. They will, if there's any change, maybe 1 or 2, there are still talks of Evelina Katos. I wish she could go for this competition. She's a leader in that squad. But for the guys, fresh players, some of them are still even in the NBA. Yeah. And the Olympics is 2 weeks, and they're still stuck at the seaport. So many things still not ready with these guys. That's where I think they're coming from. Short period of getting to know each other, short period of speaking with each other. Well, a team is beyond what's happening on the field. You have to bond off the field.
That's where I'm going. Nothing like a glue that good players, yes. Top players, yes.
Yeah. But the team,
yes.
That's why I was surprised that both Aminu brothers were not there. Even I thought this would be Ikediugu's last chance for Nigeria, probably go to the Olympics. If there's any chance of winning.
Just get him there.
Sometimes, look at Henderson. Henderson, his last game was in February. But Southgate said it point blank. That you need probably a leader in the dressing room. Remember Mikel Obi at the AFCON. Sometimes you need those leaders in the dressing room to calm the air and everything. Well, Mike Brown has been there before. He's a top manager. So if he decides to, let's see what happens if they have jerseys to wear at the end of the league.
Bolo had to bring up the jersey matter. I don't know. All right. I'm not going to say anything about that. We'll just wait. All right. Let's continue that discussion and just tell you that it is 15 days to the Olympics, just roughly 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, 15 days. We will not stop our countdown. We'll continue until it's day 0, if there's anything like that. And the Olympics, everything seems to be going in the right direction, all right? So that's it, 15 days to go. Bolu, let's talk about the torch relay, which is always our first port of call. The torch relay has finished its 3-day journey at the Saitama Prefecture. For the Saitama Prefecture is mixed. I mean, we talk about the day in between, no crowds. The first day crowds. This one, the guys lined the street. I hear Saitama is about a few kilometers away from Tokyo. So we are gradually getting, but this was different from what we saw yesterday. This is the part, I mean, the guys filed out. Everybody was there. They came out cheering, clapping. I mean, it wasn't, they weren't put in one stationary, just stay there. No, everybody came out.
Well, this is why I'm worried for the new rule of there would be no spectators.
Yeah.
If these guys are coming out,
we're going to get to that.
Excitement like this, it means they are now ready for the Olympics.
Yes.
They want these Olympics.
So that opportunity has been taken away from them.
Like Riley said, it's just a few kilometers away. It means it's getting there. Yeah. It's almost at the venue. Now they won't be at the, I hope there won't be maybe a rally. You know, the initial rally protests were for, we don't want these games to happen.
Then the other one might be, we want to be there.
And looking at different events, looking at different competitions, even the Euros, there are fans everywhere, and now telling them probably they may have to adjust a bit. But as of now, it feels like the fans won't be there at the event.
All right. So let us continue talking about the Olympics. Let's talk about the fans. The Tokyo Olympics, the organizers have said today, after declaring a state of emergency for the capital, throughout the Olympics, there's going to be a state of emergency in place. And so the fans will not be there, and that's what they've announced because of the surge in COVID-19 cases. But you already talked about it. They made that announcement. They can change. I mean, we saw in the run-up to the Euros why some cities were very reluctant to tell UEFA the amount, the size of crowds that will be there. But we now started seeing capacity crowds in Hungary, a couple of places. Even in England, they were skeptical. Now they are even telling us open the bars for extra hours or Sunday. England is playing, you know. But I still think, even though they've officially come out to say no spectators, but with what we are seeing with the touch relay, if they get a handle on COVID, they might change their mind.
They may not allow a full capacity even if they change later, but I think going on either when it starts or even before it starts, they may change to a certain percentage. And the strange thing is, even the stadiums, venues that we have fans, the fans are always together.
Yeah.
Second thing, when you say no fans, those outside the stadium are more than those inside without any social distancing.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the reasons why even football leagues have to be, okay, let's just allow these guys, because they are rallying outside the stadium. So what safety measures are we putting in place for those outside? But for now, I think some of them that have planned, that really want to be at the event, see their favorite athletes. Remember, we've talked about Naomi Osaka, who has confirmed that I will be here. Many of them want to see Naomi Osaka play live. They'll be watching on TV at her playing different Grand Slams, different ATP 1,500. Now they hope to see her at home. Unfortunately, they won't be far. I think they'll still change their mind. Full capacity, I doubt. But I think at the end of the day, they'll still probably give a certain percentage, maybe 30 or 40% for fans to be allowed into the venue.
All right, we'll see. Let's talk about countries sending off their athletes, countries having a proper send-off ceremony. Let's see if we can show you pictures from Kenya. Kenya doing just that. President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, held a ceremony for the athletes. I mean, we would love to see this from Nigeria, the first batch of athletes to travel to their base in Japan. That's a Kurume city in Japan, as you can see. I mean, Bolu, this shows how big the Olympics is. The president, he didn't send a delegate, he didn't send somebody to represent him personally, and charging these guys, go and make your fatherland proud. And all of them were there, even though they're going to be living in batches at the State House. Everyone gathered, beautiful ceremony, you know, and, you know, meeting with the president, cheers, claps, words of encouragement. I'd love to see this, Bolu.
We talked about how important sports is in many countries. One of the things that bring everyone together. And I'm sure the president knows they're coming up with medals, if for nothing.
Yeah.
Long distance
races.
And it brings the question that how come we are doing our own presentation with the president after a batch had gone?
Yeah.
Why not set...
Even if you're living in batches.
Exactly.
Before they leave.
Before the first batch leaves, let them... Because how will those that had gone already feel when...
Yes.
Another batch will be the ones to be with the president. While, okay, Zoom is not the same thing as being live. I don't know. I said the same thing I should have been. Kenyans are living in batches as well, but they had to set the plan.
Meet with the president.
Let them see first, then a batch can go, the second can go. But again, Nigeria's presentation will be on Monday, July the 12th. But again, sport is important. Olympics is big.
Yeah.
The only events that you probably will not respect that much for Olympics is the football, because it's underage. But believe me, if you have Olympic medal, before anyone asks you, is it football or anything, let's see your medal first. So I think it shows again how important it is, not just to the foreign guys, but even here in Africa. Like Riley said, for the president to come down himself, he could decide to send anyone.
Yeah.
Yes, they are in his palace, but could decide to send a delegate to, but he took the flag to the flag bearer himself. Yeah. It shows this is important, and he's definitely supporting the team.
All right. And I know some of them. Call their names and encourage them. So a good one coming from the Kenyans. All right. Let's continue with what we started a couple of days ago, knowing your athletes. Tonight, we want to talk about wrestling. So let's just give to you the athletes that have qualified and will be representing Nigeria at the Olympics. And 5 of them, and 4 women. Women seem to be outshining the guys in almost everything these days. Wrestling, Adekuroyi Odunayo, women's freestyle 57 kilogram category. Oboro Juju Blessing, women's freestyle 68 kilogram category. Aminat Adeniyi, women's freestyle 62 kilogram category. Adijat Idris, women's freestyle 50 kilogram category. Ekerekeme Agiomo, men's freestyle 86 kilogram category. And like I asked, you know, my partners on the show, I'm going to ask you, this is wrestling. The spotlight is on wrestling. How many medals? Although it's not fair to begin to say how many medals, because they tell us that the key thing about Olympics is to participate. Yep. But victories are good.
It's important.
Victories are good. So what are your expectations? A lot of people already saying Adekure is coming with something. We don't know the color, but definitely will come with something if she's not injured.
Well, I think I follow that school of thought. If there's one person that is expected to bring in medal, I'm not sure of whether gold, silver, whatever, because sometimes it depends on your opponent and it depends on your form at that particular moment. But I think Odunayo will bring home something. Blessing Obroduru. I think both of them were, for like 5-6 years now, they've been top 3 ranking in their category. For a while, Odunayo was even number 1. I think she dropped to 2nd. Both of them have been in this position. It means not top 3 in Nigeria, not top 3 in Africa, top 3 in the world. It means they've been doing something very good. And I don't expect anything less from them at the Olympics. So I think both guys will bring home medals. Others can, probably because they've not been in the spotlight like Blessing and Odunayo. People don't really know what they can offer. But if they are good enough to qualify, it means they are good enough to bring home medal. I think I was here a day we spoke with the president and he was like, well, he is just confident he can get medal. He is also not sure of either gold, silver, but
or the number.
Going by our performance at the last Olympics, if we have 1,000 bronze medals, everyone will be excited. The fact that you are on the podium, it's a different thing. It's always good when your national anthem is being sung out there, you sing, but even the fact that you are there, either gold, silver, or bronze, I think it's a big achievement. I'm not sure about how many medals we'll bring. I'm not sure how many gold, silver, or bronze, but one thing is so certain. These wrestlers will definitely bring medals home this year.
And you think the pressure won't be too much on Odunayo because
everyone's talking
about her?
I think it should help her. Since she got to the spotlight, it's been Odunayo. I remember the old match for where the coach was saying, so I think they should continue with I think the chanting helped her. Benton, Shalom, this one, that. But it's one of the things that help. If that's what will get her to bring up something, I'm sure the team are really working on all possible angles, and I wish her all the best. I wish the entire team all the best. If they can get their best form, they will definitely bring home different medals.
All right, so that's wrestling for you. Athletes will represent Nigeria at the Olympics. All right, so that's it. Let's go down memory lane and listen to an Olympic gold medalist. It's in a team event, not an individual now, a team event, talking about football. 1996, a lot of us expected it, and it turned out to be the way we expected. Nigeria won gold at that event. Let's listen to goalkeeper in that team. Didn't get to play at Atlanta, but of course was in goal for some of the matches during qualifiers. Emmanuel Babayaro speaking on their experience at the Olympics and what it means to be an Olympian.
You know, it gives you that feeling. Suddenly you realize you're a champion because wherever you look, front, back, sideways, it's always one champion or the other. You know, you're seated in a cafeteria and then suddenly someone is saying to you, oh, that's Saji Bubka. Oh, that's so pressing. Oh, that's Ben Johnson. You understand what I'm saying? So it was an awesome experience. And then, as footballers, we were always isolated. You know, always in hotels and going to play matches against a particular opponent. But it was the very first time we were faced, in all directions by athletes and sports personalities. And especially for us, the Centenary Olympics was even spectacular, basically for the things we had to go through. You know, most Nigerians had no idea that was a self-made, more like what you want to call a self-made victory for the football team. You know, because first and foremost, we went to the Olympics, there was no time. You know, it was the big players amongst us, the Victor Ekpebas, the Daniel Omokachis, the Celestine Babayaros, the Canon Nwankwo at the time, who sponsored us during our training tour in Tallahassee in the US. You know, they rented buses and paid for these buses and became the drivers and drove us around for training, even took care of our food and even hotels. You know what I'm saying? So we went through a lot during that particular Olympics. So that made it even the more exciting, especially when we won gold. You know, you're playing against the almighty Brazil at that particular time that seemed invisible. You know, and then suddenly you're thinking by halftime Brazil should be 10 or 15 goals up, and it's just 3-1. And I'll never forget that particular game. You know, at halftime, Taribo started shouting that, what, is that the Brazil? There's no big deal about these people. We need to go out there and do our thing. You know, and then we did. We went out there and we did our thing, and to the glory of God, we got victory. So for me, it was a turning point that says to me, it is not impossible. And it was the turning point that says to me, truly, we are champions, because we came against the best from all over the world. Because when you're an Olympian, you are the best the nation, that country has to offer. Not just a champion, the best that country has to offer. We came against all of them, and we came out tops on all of them. You know, so it was an awesome experience. It was awesome.
All right, Emmanuel Babayaro taking us down memory lane. As young as I was, I remember Atlanta 96, semi-final. I mean, I could just, as if it was yesterday, and even the final, great moments in that one. And I mean, hearing him share some of those we didn't even know. We all celebrated the victories. We didn't know what they were going through. And hopefully, I'm hoping that we'll get to see more of this from this current generation going to the Olympics, that will have winners in team events and individual gold medalists.
Well, as younger as I was, I also remember a few things from the Olympic Games, the midnight games, the chicken at night and everything, the celebration, the noise.
Yeah, especially the semi-final.
That's when Nigerians used to be very excited watching a football team play. People were awake, midnight every time, celebrating. You would probably not know people were awake until Nigeria scored.
Yes.
Especially the equalizer, the old hood was scattered and everything. That was pure excitement. It's been a long time. The interesting thing about the Olympics is either football, athletics, whatever, boxing, if you win anything as a Nigerian, people celebrate. I remember the four girls that were the bobsleigh and skeleton. People didn't even, I saw the games, I watched them participate, but many didn't even, the fact that these girls are representing Nigeria, people were excited. Nigerians will tell you, I don't care, they should go and do whatever they want, it's a lie. If they win, we celebrate them. It means people are still attached to sport, irrespective of whatever it is. I wish these guys if they can get there, when they get there, prepare well, win something. I'm very, very sure for probably all through the tournament, Nigerians, media house would definitely talk about them.
I think there was one I remember too as well. One of my earliest memories of the Olympics, Barcelona '92, the 4x100 meters quartet. I think they won bronze, but they celebrated like they won gold.
Guys were like, what?
And anytime I see that celebration, it tells the story of the Olympics, what it really means, and hopefully we get to see more of that. In Tokyo, Nigeria getting to the podium, like Bolu will say, it doesn't matter, just get to the podium. It's good enough for some of us. All right, let's move on and leave the Olympics and talk about football. That's where we're going next. Bolu, the ITO Cup, you take us through the stories behind some of the results that we're going to show on screen. Let's have it. Round of 32 results for the men in the ITO Cup. That's, of course, the competition where, upsets, just the nature of this competition. And there you have it. Bolu, run through some of these results and if there's any story to tell.
Well, 3 MPFL clubs are out. I'm even surprised they play. Remember earlier this week or last week, they said the MPFL clubs could boycott the tournament, but the conditions they gave were unrealistic. But they decided to play. Lagos representatives, Smart City are out. Yep. MPFL leader, Akwa United are out. Probably now they can focus more on the league. Just the only option now. Remember, ITO Cup is another backup plan to Continent, CAF Confederations Cup. Then Rangers are also out. Both of them lost 1-0. Warri Wolves could have qualified, but they lost on penalty after goalless. It shows, like Riley said, if you are looking for, you think MPFL has shockers, follow the FA Cup in Nigeria. Unfortunately, they couldn't start from the basic where they normally start from your locals to your states, but they just but we can even see the surprise results already. Even the likes of Sunshine Stars had to go through penalties to win. Katsina United had to go through penalties to defeat teams like El Kanemi Warriors of maybe a Blessed Memory. Even Heartland had to go through penalties before defeating Ekiti United. It means everyone knows how important this is, especially the teams not in the MPFL. Why? Because it's a backdoor. A team like Sunshine Star battling relegation. Imagine what it would be like to win the FA Cup. It means
and be on the continent.
Despite their poor run in the league, they could also play on the continent. So that's the beauty of the FA Cup. I like that. Despite it coming late, I like that. Better late than never. The competition is here, and their host. I hope we won't have any stoppage or anything, and we run all through after round 32, round 16, quarters, semi-final, and we have a winner at the end of the day.
All right, 3SC also losing out on penalties. Then Insurance also losing to Nasarawa United. All right, let's give you a confirmation of, before we go on a break, a confirmation of the two teams that will play in the final of the Euro 2020. If you ask anybody to predict at the start of the tournament that these two teams will play in the final, I'm not sure any person will be bold enough to say Italy and England. But there you have it. We have a game on our hands on Sunday. It's going to be played at Wembley, home support for the Three Lions. They're already saying it's going to come home. Maybe home is Rome. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Italy and England. That's a good place to leave it, and we've crossed the finish line on the show. But first, I want to thank Bolu Omoni for his time on the show today.
It was a pleasure being here.
It was a pleasure. You've made calls, don't worry. It's noted. We'll see what happens. I want to say thank you as well for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed doing this with you. We're back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.